Fishbowl. Our studios are fantastic studios at the Wisconsin State Fair. It is a wonderful day. We are joined by Wisconsin's Governor Scott Walker. So I'm going to shift from what we were talking about to the sales tax holiday ended last weekend. And we also have the child tax credit, $100 per child for families. Do you think that went well? Is that the best way to take that surplus and hand it back to you?
It went extremely well. In fact, I'm looking across the way at Plains Farm. I think better here. It was one of the places I stopped at. That families all across the state, Bayer, Cole, Shopko, you name it. And people loved it because I know my kids are older now. That's the only creek I really got was my wife's and why did we have this years ago? But I know for any family, I don't care whether you're two parents, one parent, grandparents, whatever, back to school time is often a big challenge. In fact, the National Retail Federation says that the typical family with a couple kids in school spends about $680 a school year.
Yeah, you don't think it's that much, but it adds up.
It's a ton of money. Then you add in with that the $100 per child, and so for a lot of parents and grandparents, my mom being a good example, my nieces are going into junior high, going to high school. My mom took the kids over and got them some clothes and that too. So it's not just the parents that benefit, it's grandparents, aunts, uncles, family members. For us, remember the surplus happened after the start of the year. So it was after the tax time, after you could apply to income taxes. We've already cut income taxes and property taxes. Overall taxes have gone down over $8 billion to the end of this budget. We've already put more actual dollars in the schools than ever before. We did other priorities for farmers and small business owners and seniors. But here we had this opportunity to have a bigger than expected surplus. And instead of spending it on a whole bunch of new programs, we put it right into the working families of the state. And I think it's paid off. I think it'll actually help us generate an even bigger than expected surplus next year to put in those priorities as well.
Now, these were one-offs. Do we see a similar pattern in years to come if we're in that good budget?
I think so. A good example, well, particularly with the sales tax holiday, state of Ohio did this 3 years in a row. They did it 1 year at a time, came back and renewed it to see if it worked. By this last spring, they actually made it permanent because they found it broke even or actually made money in some years. Our hope would be that people, for example, I was in Hudson the other day making the case to come across the St. Croix River or down to Kenosha, telling people to come up from Illinois. I think it will end up being a net benefit, not just for our economy and the businesses and employ people here when it comes to retail, but I actually think revenue-wise it'll be up when we go back and look at it through the end of the year. And we'll look at other ways to continue to lower property taxes, to help working families, senior citizens, small business owners, farmers, and others. With a growing economy, we can do that. Think about it. We've got more people working than ever before. We've had 5 consecutive months with record low unemployment under 3%. We did
Democrats don't seem to realize that.
Well, I mean, they act like it just, or they'll say, oh, it's because people are working a couple jobs. No, the percentage is actually one of the highest in the nation. The wage growth is higher than the national wage growth. We froze tuition 6 years in a row. We cut property taxes, income taxes, overall taxes, like I said, by over $8 billion. But we've got the #1 ranked healthcare system in the nation for quality, and we helped almost 30,000 people transition from welfare into the workforce. And we're not done yet. We're just getting started. There's so much more good we can do over the next few years.
We're talking to Wisconsin Governor Scott. We've got a few minutes left. So I mentioned the Congressman Grothman who joined us on the phone. Trade and tariffs.
Yeah.
Are you hearing from Wisconsin growers and manufacturers? Are they feeling that pain?
Well, I've heard talk about this for a year now, or more now, just with all the talk being up to farmers, to small business owners, to manufacturers. And that's why I've said, when the president was up in Canada about a month and a half ago now, and he said it got very little coverage, but he said at that event with all the G7 leaders, we should look at getting to a point where we have no tariffs. Not just the United States, but no. Because remember, you don't realize this, there are all sorts of tariffs on goods from Wisconsin or across America. This is just a matter of the administration trying to counter some of that. But if we could get to the point of no tariffs, that would be good for Harley-Davidson. That would be good for cranberry growers. That would be good for other farmers. That would be good for our manufacturers. And I think that's the right long-term goal is no tariffs. Something the president himself said, and I'd like to encourage him and others in the administration to get there.
Do you think the president's on the right track on this?
Well, if he gets to no tariffs, yeah. I mean, if that's the end goal, I mean, I think that's the the multi-billion-dollar question.
Because right now it's tit for tat, right? We put tariffs on, they put tariffs back. That's not a win.
No, for us, the best goal is our workers, our farmers, our people can compete with anyone in the world as long as we're in a level playing field. We get to a level playing field, and the best way to do that is to head to where the president himself said he wanted to go, and that is to no tariffs. If that's the goal, that's a good one for us in Wisconsin because we will win.
This is a big topic. I only got about a minute left. We're joined by Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. I saw your comments at the funeral ceremony of Officer Michael Mahowski. Violence in our community is unacceptable anywhere. Can the state do more to help the folks that are dealing with that? Madison, Milwaukee, anywhere there's violence, especially from guns?
Well, absolutely, and in fact, the Shot Spotter program is a good example here in Milwaukee County, where we provided a third of the funding along with the county and the city to try and target some of these high crime areas to get a rapid response out there. But we've got to have support of law enforcement. We've got to have all hands on deck. And as I mentioned at the onset, the best way to do that is not to let half the prison population out, including a lot of folks in the lower, so-called lower levels who are in for gun-related offenses. The better way is to get those people before the end of their sentence training, technical, vocational, educational training, get them on a career path that gets them out of the cycle that got them into the first place.
Always great to see you. Enjoy the rest of your fair experience.
Have a great fair.
Wisconsin's outstanding Governor Scott Walker. His big race, of course, in November. We are live from the Wisconsin State Fair. It is a perfect day, a postcard day. Thanks to all the folks who stopped and said hi. My parents are actually out there today. I'll wrap up my show, hand it off to Jeff Wagner. That's all coming up next, right here on WTMJ.